Hey, bundle baby. Ooh, you make me horny. We should do this. Was just kidding. Hey, Kleber. I went ahead and masturbated to your picture. So you might let you know. Don't tell Bunny. You know. Shit. Yeah, but I'm different. You know what I mean? I'm a horny motherfucker. Always have been. You know, when I was as far back as I could remember, I don't know, I must have been like 5 or something like that. I remember discovering, you know, and, I joke about, I have, a designated humpy pillow with silk pillowcase, and I got extra because over time, it kind of wears out. You got logistics with like pre-cum, and just how I do things and the material, and some people might be thinking, well, that sounds, like you said, a logistical thing. It's really not. But sorry, I kind of had a boogity bug. But like I said, I kind of got a fair amount of boogers in my nose. I bought one of them Navage things, and I thought, nah, don't do that. Because I think the boogers kind of help me from getting sick. I don't get sick very much, and when I do, it's only for 12 to 24 hours. Sometimes I don't get sick at all. Like I just, cold and flu season just misses me. This last winter, I don't remember last time, so knock on wood. I'm not exactly a super fine specimen of health. But I'm not like, out of shit. Well, I guess technically I would be, but, like as far as, my future wife, Katie Boo, if I wasn't a troll and all that shit, she's like in good health, I think. But it depends on stuff. It depends on your genetics, obviously. It depends on diet and exercise. And your mental, like physiology or whatever, has a lot to do with it. So if you're stressed out or you're depressed, that affects, your physical being, your body. And, I know Katie Boo was talking about, I don't know, depression, and she had some gut issues and whatnot. Well, when you're like depressed and or anxious, you got like the butterflies in the tum-tum, right? So that probably fucked up her gut biome or whatever it's called, and who knows, maybe it's something physical, maybe it's something emotional, maybe it's both. But as for me, I mean, yeah, there's a whole plot my friends on the world thing, and I hate everybody, but that's just kind of who I am. I've gotten used to it. It's what I know. It treats me well. I love being. Actually, I don't love it. I don't love anything. I hate everything, but I actually kind of enjoy being full of hatred and rage and bitterness and envy. And I like plotting my revenge on the world. One of these days I'm gonna do it. So I kind of, being a miserable, hateful, spiteful son of a bitch kind of treats me good. That's why I joke around, this Katie Boo, and all this. It's like, this is going to fuck things all up, man. I'm going to be so full of love and touching her with my dick and cuddling, and it's just, plus I'm scared and all that bullshit. Right, but anyway, we good, right? So that's just, I don't know if it has anything to do with it, but my body responds very well, very quickly. If I do things, right, I mean, I'm gonna skip the details, but it's like, I've been to the doctor and they say things, and I'm like, no. And it's okay. So here's what's up. I told you this is not. I'm not a doctor. But I know it sounds stupid. The remedy for me, a guy like me anyway, is like, I just need some sunshine, some fresh air, some, a little bit of exercise, a gallon of water a day, eat the right food at the right time, in the right amount. And, I know things, and I mean that humbly, and I really shouldn't waste it. But here's the thing, you back me in a corner, I can pull off miracles. And again, I'm not trying to sound like I'm like grotesquely out of shape or anything, but I'm overweight, right? Like you can't. When if I'm just wearing a shirt, I just look like a big guy. But if I take a big, I'm not like a towering beast, but I'm actually on the shorter side of the spectrum, which in my unofficial non-doctor brain, that's good. In my opinion, smaller bodies are good. There's like a range, right? And like I said, I'm not a shorty boy, but I'm on the short end of the spectrum. So that's like when my future bestie kind of talks shit, like I'm only 5'11". It's like, man, shut the fuck up. You ain't that miniature. So, but let's just say if I'm out in public, anybody who's shorter than me, I feel sorry for the bastard, But that's just how it is. So other than that, like I said, I do believe that smaller bodies, generally speaking, male or female, they don't have to work as hard. You know what I mean? You have more power. You got shorter, fulcrum points, for your muscles. Again, I know that's what your short arms. No, 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 no. You're overthinking things. Like I said, just whatever. So I remember I did that video the other day. I'm like 4 or 5 stronger than these guys because they're roughly the same age. But that might just be me being a beast. Just little things. Like here's this thing. This 20-pound thing, you're using your arm and I'm using my fingers, and here's a 5-gallon bucket, and you're like, and I'm like, here you go, woo, and just it's just little things that I've noticed, like do this and until your arm gets tired. My arm ain't gonna get tired, and I'm sitting, just whatever. Plus, I'm smart about things. I know how to use my entire body for what have you. And I know it sounds stupid. And like I said, I deleted that video and I didn't even listen to it. I don't even want to know what I said. My testosterone levels are just amazing. They're immaculate. Well, top of human capacity. And like I said, it doesn't make any sense for, my lifestyle up until this point. It's like I've been doing everything wrong. That's why I joke, does that work in reverse? Because that's one of the things, the markers of high T levels is you're a horny boy, right? I am definitely a horny boy. Like after the drinking, which isn't going to be a thing, I'm just sort of getting it out of my system right now. I jacked off like 4 fucking times, and that's like a thing that I do for some reason. I'll have to look into that. Generally, I orgasm, hump my pillow once a day. Sometimes I, orgasm, sometimes I don't. By choice, you know what I mean? I'm not just. Anyway, when I was a little kid, I joke about humping my pillow. I humped the edge of my bed. That was like the thing that I did. I didn't not like but just like bounce and grind and whatnot. So it turned out all right. So anyway, let's see, boogers, blah blah, this, that, and the other. Body responds well. So anyway, I'll be able to get my CDL back, in January, and there's there's my guideline. So I'm gonna make sure all my numbers, are are spot on. So, I mean, that's a ways away, you know, but. You know, Katie Boo, I remember I had said, well, you know, if we hustle, you know, this could be our first Christmas together. Well, fucking, you live in Chicago. It's just, it's like 5:30 in the morning. I'm not up yet, but I'm gonna go take a shit and I'll post this and whatever. I added a video to the ASMR, when dogs meet newborn babies. You know, for obvious reasons, especially because your friend shout out that Rugrat. Her tits look fucking amazing, but it's because she's, you know, whether or not she's actually breastfeeding or using, you know, maybe not breastfeeding. I don't know why she wouldn't. Maybe she just doesn't want to do that. But, you know, she's using her breast milk that she's producing, you know, because she's a mother now. So whether or not she's using formula or actually using it, so those tits are not legit. I mean, they are. She has big tits anyway, big girl on the bigger side of things. But you know, there's those, you know, those. Yeah. To do my impression of John Wick. Big tits. Right. Well, she just shat out a Rugrat. So those tits are full of milk. And that is not sexy. That's a maternity thing. I don't want to fuck tits that are full of milk. That's just fucked up. Sounds like John Wick, huh? Right. Well. When those tits are not full of milk. Because you just shat out a Rugrat. Put on that same top. And hit me up. Right. Anyway, I should be a double. A movie double. John Wick, you think they'll make a John Wick 4? I don't know. But yeah, I was just thinking about that. We'll go into beast mode. Because I truly am amazing. And I've done it several times in my life where it's like, yeah, you know, I'll wait till the very last minute, then we'll kick some serious ass. Doesn't matter what it is. So, anyway. 13 minutes in. I guess that's all I gotta say, baby. Hey, yeah, yeah. I feel like I should mention Kleber again. Because I think that's funny. I'm not just saying that. I masturbated to your face. Does that creep you the fuck out? Or is it flattering? Who's a pretty girl? Crazy eyes. You know, I like the way you look. You do. You know, you just look average, plain Jane. You know, nobody would give a second thought. Yet you're pretty. You know, I'm weird. You know, I like the average girl next door look. You know, and then you got broads like you know, Katie Boo. You know, who are like, you know, they're the most beautiful girl in the world, but they're not like, I've heard that several times. I guess they ran tests, you know, like the ideal age for dudes, right? Of any age. Doesn't matter if you're 18 or 88. Um, you know, the range that the male of the human species find most attractive is like between the ages of 20 and 25. And I'm like, nah. I like them just old, not old, but, and women age like milk. Men age like bourbon if they take care of themselves, or scotch or whatever. Katie Boo, for example, she's actually getting more attractive. It's weird. Kleber, you're aging. I can tell, but you look good. You still look good. Don't take that out of context or whatever. But I'd say, yeah, upper 20s to like mid 30s if they take care of themselves. So, if they got the look, they got the look. But your friend, Mrs. Butthead, she's gonna age like shit. Like I said, sometimes she actually looks kind of cute, and the ears are definitely just, they help. They just it's kind of cute in a way because she she found the gweed. I don't know if you're with married serious steady Eddie relationship or whatever, but it's like she's happy, and it's kind of cute. That just sounds weird and fucked up, but she's on the list. She's always got this big shit eating grin, and I don't know. It's just sort of cute, I guess. But and the Gweed kind of does too, I guess. I haven't. She doesn't take much pictures with him. You'd think she would. Mr. Longhead said that. That doesn't make any sense. If she's all about the motherfucker, she'll make sure she's in the picture there is. Not so much. I think she's only got like 2 or 3. So, doesn't hardly make any sense. It's like, yo, broad. I would actually consider her maybe even a woman. I would refer to her as a woman, and I'd refer to you as a woman. I'm being real here. The rules don't apply to me. I get to say shit like that. I've said that before. Oh, she's a smut bag. She's a gutter hoe. Yeah. But I also do think, based on just speaking with her and her demeanor and how she thinks and how she internalizes the world, like I said, I do think she can get kind of hyped up. I don't really know her. Just little. But I've also little things. I can't even explain it. But it could kind of go either way, because I'm me. I'm perceptive too, and I get too. Who else am I talking about? But it's just hard for me to explain. Just little things. Even talking to her on the phone. Hey, I'm gonna tell you a story real quick. I remember this. I just do. Must be important to me. She called. Did the one and done answer thing. What did you really? Yes, I did. Just be careful. You got to back up your story. Okay, I know. One and done. I get it. That's true, I think, even with cars these days. So don't fuck with it. Phone bad. Just remember the old days when you didn't have a fucking phone? Just go back to that, especially in my case, right? Because I have 4 whopping points on my license. Don't fuck with it. Don't answer the phone. Come to a complete stop at the stop sign behind the sign. If you can't see, do that first, then roll up. Follow the fucking rules. The only thing that I don't think counts is parking tickets, because it's not a moving violation. It's a parking, although who knows. But anyway, now I'm up at the 19 and a half minutes, but so much for the short and sweet, but I just got so much to say. So anyway, your stupid friend. I'm going to tell a quick little story. She called me. She said, hey, can you go up here and pick up a pallet stacker? I'm okay, whatever. I got to go here first. And then, that's weird. Maybe like that dream I had the other day. and then with the rocks and stuff, and not much to think about, I guess, not much to dream about, but never had any dreams about Kitty Boo or anything that, so I'm okay, fine, I'll go over there. Okay, yeah, oh, no problem, yeah, I'll go over there. Oh, by the way, what's a pallet stacker? There was silence on the other end of the phone. And then, I don't know, it took me like a whopping 3 to 5 seconds. I'm all, oh, yeah, it stacks pallets. Or maybe she said that. I don't know. But she didn't say anything. And when I hung up the phone, I thought, why did she pause? Did she pause because she wasn't expecting such a dumb question? What do you mean, what's pallet stacker? And so because she's low horsepower, she was thinking, how do I answer that? It stacks pallets. It's like an automated machine, right? Or did she do that because she was so self-conscious and she's such a sweet girl that she would be so conscientious of somebody else's what have you? She didn't want to say it because she like said my name and stuff, and blah, 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 and people are gonna know that. I gotta know what a pallet stacker is. Now, it's probably the other way around. She probably was just like, what do you mean? It stacks pallets. That's probably. Anyway, I just remember that, so I don't even know why I said that. Oh yeah, your friend, Mrs. Butthead. You know what? I talk shit about her, and I mean it, but I also think she's probably a fairly sweet girl. So, maybe not. Maybe she's dramatic like you, for example. I don't know you. Are you like high strung? What's your deal? What type of girl are you? What type of personality do you have? You know what I mean? You got the business, right? So you might, you work hard, you play hard. You might be one of those girls. You know what I mean? Anyway, whatever. Well, yeah, I like the way you look. I like that, I like more mature broads, And then there's the life experience that comes with that. Life experience. The bedroom experience is included, like, yeah, you do get to compare me to Jack, Jeremiah, Don, Ron, and Steve, and Marvin, and Derek, and all of them. Yeah, you do get to compare me to all those motherfuckers. Oh, that's a bad thing? Well, nobody told me that. Anyway, you know what I mean? Oh, you have problems making connections and falling in love? For some reason that doesn't bother me, should it? I don't know, maybe I should go ask some of you sip-ass motherfuckers. So, oh, I'm 101? You about to meet number 101. Number one with 100 in front of it. Anyway. But just life experience. So, we get to skip all that shit because you do get to compare me. Baby girl. We should hang out. You got a dickable face.